Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another live edition of the Ethicast, coming to you from Atlanta, Georgia, at the 16th Annual Global Ethics Summit. I'm your host, Bill Coffin, and I'm here with Harper Wells, Chief Compliance Officer of Learning Pool. Harper, this is not your first time in the Ethicast. Thank you so much for coming back.
Thank you so much, Bill. Hello, everyone out there in the ether. So happy to be here. This has been an incredible couple of days, just learning so much and meeting so many people. So really happy to be here today.
Outstanding. Well, look, I can't wait to have the conversation we're going to have because it's going to be about a very meaningful topic. So I'm just going to jump right into it. Like in today's volatile environment, and it is volatile, what are the things that we should be thinking about when we are driving integrity in our own businesses? Because we're not in the normal anymore.
We are not in the normal, Bill, and that's such a great lead-in question because we delivered a session. Hopefully, some of you saw it on Sunday about integrity leads the way. Ethics is a business driver, and I think we would be remiss to not call out the elephant in the room, Bill, which is we are operating in very complex times, frankly, really volatile times, and we are navigating economic uncertainty. I'm really just calling a spade here. We are seeing large shifts in federal institutions. We're seeing walkbacks of DEI efforts. We're seeing a lot of instability and deepening political polarization that's making its way into our workplace culture. And it's not just impacting our organizations, Bill. And as you know, it's impacting our people, the employees who make up our organizations. And so it makes it quite challenging when you talk about trying to embed and maintain an ethical culture. And when you add to that the kind of deepening distrust of institutions, including, corporate leadership, media, government, whatever it may be, there's a real erosion of trust that's taking place. So our employees themselves don't know who or what to trust. I think that it was so wonderful that we were all here this week because it gives us an opportunity to, it's not just about best practices, but it's about really engaging with our employees and empowering them in a way that creates muscle memory and that builds kind of this resilience where they can navigate ethical ambiguity with ambiguity with the utmost integrity. And so our panel discussed this, and I had a great panel with
it was awesome.
Felipe from Salesforce, Jessica from McDonald's, and Karen from Energizer. Shout out to you all. But we really talked about three themes, Bill, and that was, first, it's really that cross-functional relationships are key here. You cannot operate at, an ethical and an integrated integrity workplace without the help of others. So I know a lot of us talk here about HR is our bestie, audit, even marketing and comms and continuing to get the word out. But there are so many different other functional areas that we can take advantage of and have deep relationships with to make things more meaningful. The second thing was really about integration over isolation. And, we talk a lot, the buzzword of like operationalizing things, but it's really about ethics and ethical decision-making being at the root of our daily habits, whether that's in team meetings, communications, even decision-making processes. And the panel talked to that, as well as third, and what's really important that we've heard a lot about, which is you've got to see ethics and action demonstrated from leadership at the top and the tone at the top that we hear about down to the mood in the middle and beyond, because without that, every employee needs to take ownership of having ethics and accountability.
One of the really exciting things in the E&C space over the last 10 years has been seeing just a massive amount of progress being made, not just in the maturity of programs, but just in the socialization of strong ethics is good business. Culture is the fulcrum of sustainable success, and business integrity is a strategic differentiator. We see this such massive progress across so many different organizations, and yet now it seems almost rather suddenly we're in this environment where there are some pretty strong forces trying to push all that back a little bit. And I really feel for ethics compliance officers who are suddenly finding themselves maybe not as well positioned to say with the full chest, hey, wait a minute. We have, we lead with values. We hold these truths to be self-evident in terms of how we behave. And now they're kind of, you see certain organizations where maybe the leadership is starting to falter or lose a little bit of faith. And I wonder, what does that mean for the ethics and compliance leadership themselves? They now have to carry that flag a little bit more on their own shoulders. So I'd love to get your thoughts on all that, because I know it's something you think about quite deeply.
It is, and it's such a big question. And we, some of us are like, oh, how did we get here? I think Erica, when she met with Larry Thompson, hopefully you all got to see that one. Amazing. I know it's going to be on for 90 days, so watch it. Incredible. Larry actually said, like, our jobs are so much harder now than they were back when he was doing it. And it's true, because I think that, our jobs are to hold the line, as the ethics and integrity ambassadors of our
Yeah.
business, and
Yeah.
to be able to put the foundational pieces in place to say, hey, irrespective of what happens or what EO comes out tomorrow, good ethics is good business. And
Yeah.
we do things not because we have to from some sort of check the box mandate, but because it's the right thing to do.
Right.
And it's interesting because I've actually spoken with people after our panel who have come up to me and said, listen, I've had challenges, real challenges. And
Yeah.
there are many really incredible organizations here where there are stakeholders in the business
Yeah.
who are now challenging the ethics and compliance office to say,
Yeah.
do we really need to do all of these things?
Right.
Do we
Yeah.
really need to have such
Yeah.
a stringent policy and the trainings and all of these controls in place? And
Yeah.
the answer to that, Bill, as you know, is yes.
Yes, exactly.
Is yes, because it doesn't matter what administration we find ourselves in, whether we are red or blue or left or right. Good ethics is good. Giving your employees the tools and resources
Mhm.
that they need to make appropriate decisions, do their jobs the right way, and feel psychologically safe to raise their hand if they aren't
Yes,
sure. And that's what
yes.
all of us are aspiring
Yeah.
to do.
Yeah, and certainly at a time like now, when you may be getting questions you're not used to getting, all that work you've been doing in learning how to measure your program and learning how to benchmark your program and learning all those ways in which you prove the value that you bring, to the organization, that's all going to be a real premium right now, because you will need this more now than ever before, and that work will not have been in vain.
That's right.
It's really a way to rigorize your system quite a lot. Harper, you're such a rock star. You're so
Thank you.
knowledgeable. You're so
Thank you.
insightful. I'm really dying to know. You did such a wonderful job leading that discussion, your panel. But I would love to know. Erica had mentioned to everybody. Yeah, she kind of challenged everybody at GES to try to make 5 new friends, learn 4 new things.
Love that.
I would love to know, what is a takeaway that you got from your discussion during that panel? Because you had such an amazing set of folks, and there were so many great insights. But I'd love to know what's something that really stuck with you, that you're like, you know what? This has actually broadened my horizon a little bit.
Yes. Thank you. That's another great question. And I love that challenge from Erica, because the one thing I learned is that each of the 4 of us on stage is at a different point on the evolution curve when it comes to embedding ethics and integrity in our businesses. Now, we're all doing it, but the things that we're doing some are more evolved. And we've even heard other sessions like Edith from CBRE talking about her rock star ambassadors program.
Isn't that
people
cool?
are all over the
It's
map
so
there.
good.
Shout out to her as well. And Marissa Fox from Booking Holdings, just doing great things over there. But everyone's at a different point on the spectrum, but still being able to have that iterative motion and improvement with the lens of, we are doing this every day. It's going to be a part of, it's going to be embedded and integrated into the fabric of all of the things we do. So it's not a bolt on that someone, at quarter end decides to make a decision that it's not important. So I think that was a big takeaway. And also, if you extrapolate that out to everyone in the room, everyone has challenges. So I would say the other big takeaway is continue to learn from your peers. And this is such a great industry, and everyone's willing to share what's been working for them and what's not working. So even if, the viewers here have seen a session this week and might want to dig into well, how did you actually do that? And what is the care and feeding on your ethics ambassador program? Reach out to those people. They would love to chat about it. That's what I think.
Absolutely. I that's such a great point. And I couldn't stress it more. It's like everybody here is so much more accessible than you may think that they are. And everybody here, they answer the email, they pick up the phone. If you reach out to people want to share what they've learned, because a lot of people have learned it the hard way, and they've learned the value in community, and everybody take advantage of it. Whether you're a Bella member or whether you're just a GES attendee, reach out to people. You see somebody on the stage who really just blew your mind, reach out to them. You can have a conversation with that person and continue that learning.
Totally.
You might create a really great relationship going down the road.
I've got an action item from today's session, because Yolanda is a rock star from IBM, and I'm going to reach out to her. And because I'm also live in the tech industry, I just would love to connect with her again. I'm sure she'll answer my message and we can connect on it.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
That's my note for today.
Well, Harper, it has been so great having you back in the Ethicast. Thank you very much for joining us and sharing your insights. It's always a delight talking to you.
You as well. Thank you, Bill.
Indeed. Well, this has been another Ethicast live here at the Global Ethics Summit in Atlanta, Georgia. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate talking with you. We'll see you again soon. Bye now.